Hi everyone, back today with another video. This is just a quick one. I had some commenters ask what I would do if I could build my tailoring build again from the start. What would I do to maximize the amount of gold I make? So I have made one on tailoring as well. If you're interested in that, go check it out. I only have a tailor's and an enchanter's point of view here. I only have one character. I don't have an old army, so I can only tell you about these two. But hopefully, you can get something from this that you might find helpful for other things. So, before we get too far into this, the way to get the enchanting points you need to level your profession tree is there's an enchanting quest every day, but the majority of the way you will learn to acquire enchanting points is through disenchanting. So, just in case you're lost on how to even start getting the points, those are the two primary ways. You can do that quest once a week. There's also a catch up mechanism on Shivering Dust. You can check my videos. I've got a video on how to do that and how to activate it so you're getting that catch up mechanism. But for the most part, it is done through disenchanting. So, just in case you're wondering how to get those points. So you can see here my squirrel brain activated, and we ended up doing patron orders instead of exactly what I logged on to do today, which was this video. But it was free. I made gold from it, and then my resourcefulness kicked in, and I made a lot of gold from it. So that was a win. So back on task. What would I do if I started again from my tailoring? So from the very beginning, you want to put in points in designated disenchanter. So there are four tabs across the top. All of them, most of them, are relatively useful in terms of making gold. But the designated disenchanter is where you want to put the most of your attention. I put it in the rare items first. So you want to do the first tier. You want to fill the first 30 points in the first tier so you can activate the other three tiers. And then you want to put your attention in disenchanting rares because of the gleaming shatter, which gives you the ability to also get hypnotic dust out of it. It is more expensive to disenchant a gleaming shard into hypnotic dust, but from a starting from the beginning perspective, it gives you access to more regions to make more things so you can do more of those first time crafts to get more of those enchanting points. So definitely do that. You can see here I'm specced out all the way in all three of these. It basically gives you additional chances to get extra things while disenchanting. So you might get two gleaming shards or a higher quality item when you disenchant or something to shatter, which we'll talk about in a minute. But that's a really good thing to specialize in because it gives you more ingenuity, more resourcefulness, more everything. And we'll talk about that next. But getting those ingredients for free when you're disenchanting something already is definitely a good place to start. The next area is supplementary shattering. You can see here from the knowledge points I have here, I picked up on this really late. And if I could start again, I would put my attention here after the disenchanting points. So, what this does is, I've mentioned it briefly, you can see here, each level increases your resourcefulness, your multicraft, and ingenuity. And being able to increase your ingenuity, which gives you potential refund on your concentration. Resourcefulness allows you to get items back, like you just seen when I made that patron order. I got the Ringing Deep's Ignite back. It makes more gold out of the things you're making. When you're making enchanting formulas and listing it on the auction house, if you've shattered an item, and I have a huge stockpile of that, I bought loads of it while it was 1 gold. But if you shatter an item and every eighth or ninth recipe that you make refunds some of the ingredients, especially for some of those more expensive craft items that require tinderboxes and things. You can make a substantial amount of gold that way, just being able to double up on resourcefulness, on resources. It's definitely a good thing to spec into. You can see here, I also have Immaculate Ingenuity. I did catch on to that one pretty quick, and that really helps with my concentration build. For enchanting, concentration builds are the way to go. So ingenuity and then resourcefulness is what I find is the best making for gold, which is the opposite of what I recommend for tailoring. So being able to make those top tier enchants and getting the refund on the concentration so you can make more of those is definitely the way to go here. You can see here I have some points in multicraft, and I definitely wouldn't do that again. I think there is some gold to be made on the oils, and the multicraft there could be very good for that. I just don't think it's the most profitable way to have enchanting. There's definitely ways to make gold with the multicraft and going down the oils avenue, but I think the actual enchants are where the most gold is. So if I could do this again, that's what I would prioritize: the ingenuity and the resourcefulness, and I would not pick up multicraft. So while you're leveling your concentration, your ingenuity, and your resourcefulness, definitely look at specking out fully in everlasting enchantments. You can see here I've done it. And what that does is reduces the amount of concentration you need to make the top tier level for all of these enchants. So I had to put a lot of points in here, and it's definitely paid off because I can make a lot of things at very high levels, if not max. And I sell those for a lot of gold on the auction house. You might have seen in some of my previous videos where I've sold the glimmering ring enchants, which are just a base level enchant, which really aren't all that exciting. But sometimes you can make 200 to 300 gold per enchant, making those at the top tier. And I can make those without concentration. So specking into those is really good, but it also gives you the ability to make more items. So a lot more of those first craft items, which is really helpful just building up your spec. I know a lot of people take a lot of different routes with enchanting, but I definitely went down the concentration build with my secondary being resourcefulness. And to make the most out of your concentration, you need to be able to make those items at the highest level possible before you're using concentration, because you want to be using the bronze level items, like the bronze level storm dust, the bronze level gleaming shards, to make the most gold out of those builds. So the better you can make those items right from the get-go with those lower item things, the more gold you're going to make from them. So this last tier, enrichments and equipment, I wasted a lot of talent points here, just in my own opinion. Because I didn't go down that oils pathway, I went down the enchants pathway. These weren't well spent talent points for me. And if I could refund those, that would be great, because I would love to put them into shattering. But this wasn't a good avenue for me. If you put some more points in the deceptive enchants, and they do sometimes sell, not for a lot of gold in my experience, but again, I'm only making the bronze level ones. They do sometimes sell, and I think you can get a multi-craft proc on those, but I think the majority of the gold is made from crafting those more mainstream, less cosmetic forms. The oils are good. I use the oils when I do my delves and raids, and I buy them from the auction house. So there is a market for it. I just don't know that there might be a big boom for that come season 2, but I think there will also be a big boom for the regular enchants, and I think they're more consistent as people upgrade their gear. They want more of those things. I think it's a less competitive market as well, because to make the most gold from these, you need to buy the enchants, or you could go farm them. Buying them from the house is what I did. It cost a lot of gold to do it that way, but you make back that gold really quickly. Like the Oathsworn enchant cost me 80,000 gold. The Oathsworn strength enchant, 80,000 gold to buy that. But I think I paid it back in a week and a half just selling the enchant. So you do make the gold back. And if you're unsure about how to have the gold to buy these things to begin with, check my other videos, because I show you how to more than easily make the gold you need to be buying these things. Or you could go farm them. It's just going to take a little bit longer that way. So if you're not sure how to find the enchants, go to the auction house, recipes, enchants, and make sure you check the filter for the current expansion. It gives you a big list here of all of the formulas available. You can see some of them are actually really reasonably priced. The Oathsworn is really good. I find that it sells the most often, and that's the one I make with my concentration. When my concentration's up, I make that, or the Chant of Winged Grace. They both make me a lot of gold. Those two chants have to be my top end chants. They were expensive to get though, but like I said, they pay themselves off really quickly. If you also tick filter, you can show unlearned, so you're not battling trying to figure out which ones you do and don't have. So it's just a really easy way to tell what you do and don't have. But don't be afraid to buy the enchants off the auction house, the formulas off the auction house, because a small gold outlay now will make you a lot of gold in the future. You'll triple or even quadruple the amount of gold you spent on it just being able to make that enchant. Definitely consider it. In one of the previous videos I made, I show you how I made 86,000 gold on the auction house, just selling the silver level of the items I bought, the formulas I bought off the auction house. I think it was the Defender's March and the Chant of Winged Grace. Quite often, Oathsworn is part of that as well. This current one, it wasn't, but you can make a lot of gold without using concentration buying those formulas. So don't think you're locked into what you can make with your concentration build, because people buy the silver level of those enchants as well. And you don't need concentration to make those if you're specced out in the everlasting enchantments, like I showed you earlier. So I made 86,000 gold that way. Of course, that wasn't all profit. I was using materials to make the enchants, but I was making about 500 gold profit per enchant sold. So it's still a pretty tasty profit margin for 40 minutes. So just a special shout out to my members, Heretic666, Hallowed Be Thy Game, Brit Malaka, and Psycho Teddy. I hope you're enjoying getting this content early. If you're not a member yet and you're interested in getting this content early, check the link below in the description. Decide if becoming a member is for you. These videos will come out for everyone. There'll just be a delay, and sometimes a delay can make a big difference in how much gold you can make with something initially. It's totally your call what you want to do. But you can support this channel in lots of free ways. A like, a subscribe, a comment makes a really big difference for me, and it's free for you guys. So hopefully you found something interesting or helpful here today. And as always, remember, girls don't play WoW.